Right, for normal distribution, there's kind of two types of questions they will give you. One where they give you a data set and they want you to find the probability of that happening, and one where they give you the probability and want to know what was the value that gave you that probability. So both of these show up in the same place in the calculator. So we're going to go into stats. And it doesn't matter if there's anything in your lists. We're going to go into a distribution. We're going to do a normal distribution. And the two buttons that we need are NCD. This is when we have a data point and want the probability. And the inverse. This is when we have the probability and want the data set. So we're going to do part A first here. So we're going to go to NCD. Of course, we have variables, not a list of data, so we're going to go variable. And it's asking us our lower bound. So we want our values to be less than or equal to 24.5. So we don't really have a lower bound because there's a lot of or infinite amount of numbers that can be less than 24.5. So what we actually enter is -9. Then we go down to this EXP button, E99. So this is just basically -9 followed by 99 zeros. So it's a really big negative number because we can't actually put negative infinity in here. But we're going to start at that imaginary negative infinity, and we want to go up to and stop at 24.5. And then it wants our standard deviation. So this specific question gave us our variance. And remember, the variance is the standard deviation squared. So we need to square root that in order to find what the standard deviation was. And it says we have a mean of 20. So once our data is all entered, we just hit enter. And there we go. Our probability of this happening is 0.933. So the probability that our value is less than or equal to 24.5 is 0.933. This other question here wanted me to find the value that gave me this probability. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our distribution, normal, and now we want our inverse. So it's going to ask us a couple of things. So again, we want a variable, and it wants to know where our tail is. Are we left or right? So we want our values to be less than whatever we find. So we have our values and we want everything that's less than that. So that's everything on the left side of that point. So our tail is going to be on the left. The area is where we're going to put our probability, always entered as a decimal. And you can see it still has my significance level, or sorry, my standard deviation and my mean from the previous question. So that is still the same. We hit enter. And our value of k, that gives us our probability of 0.85, is 23.1. That's all there is to using our calculator to find a normal distribution.